All right. Okay, friends, let me see if we are all set. Let me get to, oh, I don't see it. Okay. There we go. There we go. All righty. Okay, friends. Hello. Just coming around to see you. Let me get everything set up, and I am making my way. Hello, friends. I'm Philly. Welcome to my kitchen. It is Sunday on March 23rd, and we are tackling, or at least I am tackling, and you hopefully will be cheering me on, tackling a rice dish that has been eclipsing me because I've been honestly intimidated to make it, and that is biryani. And biryani is an iconic Indian rice dish that does involve many steps, and I think that's why I kind of felt inept to be able to tackle it, but I do enjoy it. When we've gone to Indian restaurants, it is so delicious, aromatic, flavorful, sometimes a little spicy. It is just delightful, and so I love rice dishes, and on my channel I have tackled some that I've never made, including paella, which was a huge lift for me, at least it felt that way. And after success, I thought, you know what, I've got to face my fear with biryani. And today we're making chicken biryani. So I have done risotto, which is something I had done before I even started my channel. And of course, fried rice is just a beloved technique to bring lots of leftovers and make a tasty dish that has an Asian spin. But yeah, so biryani is something that I have been long wanting to do. So that is our job today. So welcome to my stream. I'm going to, whoops, let me just move my computer a little closer here. Oh, I see. Oh my goodness. Well, hello everyone. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Michael. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you could join. I could tell you were interested in this, Michael. Have you ever made biryani, and do you enjoy biryani? And Archie, I know, I wish I could deliver this. Wouldn't that be grand if we could figure out a way to use some drones and get over? It would be frozen by the time it came to you because it probably have to go up high enough. And Archie, happy belated birthday. He had a birthday yesterday, so I hope you had a wonderful day. And I was definitely thinking about you, actually, as the week was leading up to it. And then yesterday was quite busy here, and I did not get the actual greetings to you until today. So my apologies, my friend. But I hope you had a wonderful birthday. And I am a March birthday person too, so that's coming up later this month. So excited about that. So welcome to this stream. And let me just see if I can fix something because YouTube just changed something where now I'm having trouble. There we go. Okay, that's much better. Alrighty. So friends, it is Sunday, it is March, and we are going to, as my friend Archie would say, get cracking because we have lots to do. So some things I've already done. One of the things I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my ghee in here, get my ghee on. So ghee is just clarified butter, and it is used in Indian cooking. And I always have some ghee. I don't do a lot of Indian cooking. I do some. But I also use ghee for other things, including popcorn. So, you know, you got to have some good popcorn. So ghee is just clarified butter. So if you want to make ghee yourself, you would just melt some butter. You take off the foamy stuff on the top using just the clear. Take off the solids that kind of rise to the top, use the clear on the bottom. So I'm going to put this in here and tell you what I've been doing so far. So there's probably going to be about 4 tablespoons of ghee that I'm going to put here. I will tell you that to get ready for this meal, I did a lot of studying this week. So I studied some different YouTube videos. I read in some different websites that had great biryani recipes. And what I'm doing today is a bit of a combination of many of them, trying to think of a home cook. Also, y'all know that I don't really love frying. And so all the links are below. And I will tell you the amounts I'm using for mine specifically. So this one probably leans heavy. I'm thinking of the creators that I studied this week. This one probably leans heavy with the ministryofcurry.com on the links below. But I also, it definitely, the YouTube creator, Your Food Lab, also impacted some of my technique and some of my decisions as well. And also there were some things that I gleaned from Indian healthy recipes as well. So one of the things to start off, we are going to be frying some onions, which are kind of a good flavor foundation. There's lots of foundations of flavor, let me be real. There's so much good flavor in this. But the onions are a part of it. So I don't love frying, y'all know that. I think I fried one thing here on live stream, and it was the crispy rice, the sushi crispy rice cubes. And yeah, I'm just not a big fryer. I love getting fried stuff out, not so much cooking in my house because I feel like it makes it smell, but that's enough about me. But let's see who else is here. So Michael said he made it with mutton. Wonderful, very delicious dish. Glad I chose this. Thank you, Michael. And Barb said, oh yes, happy birthday. 80 years old, Barb. Yeah, you got it. A little dig there, a little birthday dig. I love it, Barb. And Diana, wonderful. Welcome, Diana. And oh my goodness, Diane. No, Diana. Well, he's calling you Diana, so I'm not sure what you prefer, Diana. Let me know. 80 years old, you guys are the best. So in any event, what I've done before then, and you saw if you follow me on Blue Sky or Threads or Instagram, you saw that and also I post this on YouTube, that I've already had my chicken marinating because I did want to cut some of the time and not make this live stream be hours long. So let me show you what that looks like right now. There we go. So earlier today, and you can do this overnight as well. So let me kind of show you. We'll take a better look at it once I'm ready to give it a cook. But in here, what I did was I put together a tablespoon of ginger paste, of garlic paste, 2 teaspoons of salt. I also put in a tablespoon of Kashmiri chili powder, which besides giving it some spice, and I know Archie was teasing about hubs with this, but the Kashmiri chili powder actually isn't super spicy. It's more like the spiciness, not the flavor, but the spiciness more of paprika, not super spicy. But then I decided to splurge and I got some biryani masala because as I was listening to on YouTube and reading about making this, one of the things I learned is that everyone's biryani and Indian families can all be a little different. And that's one of the things I love about it, right? It's like that with fried rice. It's like that. It can be like that with risotto. It can be like that with paella even. So everyone has their own take. And but I did want to invest in a little. I wasn't going to make my own. I'm just going to be honest with you. Wasn't going to do that. Even though the fella on YouTube made it sound so easy, I was like, I'm going to pass on that, let you all do the expert work. So I did a little research in finding good brands, and one of them that kind of came up was by Diaspora Company. They do lots of great Indian spices, and this one, Biryani Masala, I purchased, so we're gonna see how it is. I'm gonna let you know because it's gonna be a big base of flavor. There's 2 teaspoons in here. I also put in here a half teaspoon of turmeric and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Oh, and the other thing I also added per the, what was his name? The Food Lab, was I did put a chili in here too. I smashed it up and put that in. Now, I could not find any of the green chilies that they would use. I found a similar one that's red. You know what, you gotta find what you can. Like maybe you would end up using a serrano or what is the other one? I can't think of the other. There's another pepper that might, habanero even. Like you gotta kind of find what you can use. So you don't have to put this smashed chili in there. I did want to do that just to have that other kind of flavor, the fresher, kind of flavor in there. So that's what I did. And this has been marinating. This could also marinate in this state overnight. So I'm gonna put this back in the fridge, and in a little bit, we're gonna be actually adding some fresh herbs to this that I'm gonna be chopping after I chop my onions, and we're gonna be adding the yogurt to it. Now, on some of the websites, some of the people added the yogurt straight off. So, and some added it right before cooking, and others added it slightly before cooking. So I really think there's lots of flexibility with this. So I'm going to be doing it after I get my onions frying. I'm going to add the yogurt, add the herbs, cut, and I'll do all that good stuff. So hopefully that makes sense to y'all. So there are some steps, and for me to feel comfortable with it, and Hubs could attest to it, is I have been doing lots of reading, writing, and studying. So, and by the way, this is for something we're going to do in a little bit. But first we need to get some onions cut because we want them to get fried. So I'm going to try and multitask by cutting a red onion. And that was another bone of contention because, you know, I think at the food lab, I think he recommended red onions. Another one just said white onions. You know, what are you going to do? So I'm going to be doing red onion. You know, I think really either would be fine. You know, I think once we get into the real weeds of it all, just cut an onion and get it fried up. So meanwhile, I'm going to get my ghee heated up. So let me, hopefully this will be listening to me. And on, oops, there we go. There we go. Okay. And per my person who ministryofcurry.com, what I liked is this was a way to not have to put a whole pot of oil and get these onions crisping, and also it taking quite a long time. So I liked her method a little bit better, hoping again for a home cook it might make more sense. So let's get this onion cut so we can get them in there. Now I do not have a mandolin. You all know I don't want to do a mandolin. One of my friends hurt herself very badly, so that is not allowed in my house. So I'm just going to attempt to slice these as thin as I can, and it'll be just fine. Meanwhile, my ghee is melting. So let's see what I'm missing here. Marcy, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited to have you join. I've missed you. It is good to have you on the stream. How are you doing? It is good to, all these wonderful friends. Y'all make my day. This is wonderful. It is sunny, a little chilly here in Philly. How is it where y'all live? Cold, warm. We actually have had some really beautiful spring days. Okay, this onion is not peeling straight away. There we go. Ugh. Ah, goodness gracious. Sometimes onions seem to get off their skins quickly, and other times they're pesky, and this one is just being pesky. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm just taking that whole thing off because I'm not going to be bothered with it. All right, so we are going to get this sliced and into the ghee. I'm just going to, let me look here real quick. Let's see what's going to work well. I'm going to use this wooden spoon and get this heated up. And I'm going to actually, yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so let's get the slicing, get my slicing skills. And per the food lab, he suggested slicing them this way. So I did see someone else slice them the other way. I'm like, okay, y'all doing it different. That's okay. We can be unique. But he claimed this was the best way to get them tender and thin. And then, of course, we do need to separate them. That's going to be very important. Now, I'm also seeing my ghee is getting quite warm, so I'm turning it down for a minute while I get my onions sliced. Let's get this going. We will want to separate these onions. I'm not going to worry about that last bit because we're kind of trying to get this off straight away. So I'm trying to go as thin as I can, but also keeping in mind timing. I'm going to be frying these onions on medium heat. Whoops, that's not going to work. All right, we're getting to the end of this. And maybe get one more slice in. There we go. And then we're going to want to split these onions up so that they're all separated. That way they will cook more evenly. We want to make sure that we're crisping these up. These are not only going to flavor the oil that I'm going to be cooking the chicken in, but they're also going to create texture and flavor throughout the dish. So this is probably going to go everywhere, but what I'm going to try to do is just get these all separated. I'm going to do some here. And then these big chunks, I think I'm just going to leave out because the big chunks aren't going to really cook as well. So I'm going to kind of pick through and manage myself here, so to speak. So has everyone had a great weekend? Hopefully you've all had a good weekend and doing well. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some of these did not get as thin as I would like, but that's okay. I'm going to be a little nitpicky. Ooh, and it is it's smarting my eyes here, friends. Oh my goodness. We were actually at a restaurant. Oh, Lordy. We were at a restaurant with our kids this weekend celebrating the boys' birthdays. Their birthdays are only, I'm trying to think how far apart they are. They're about 3 weeks apart. Yeah, they're about 3 weeks apart. And unfortunately, with our first plans, one of them had COVID, so we had to delay and reschedule. And so we enjoyed it though on Friday night, and it was delightful with my son and his wife and my other son having a great meal at a place called Liver 2, which is, now let's get this heat back up, which is an Italian place in Philly that serves food from the Italian Abruzzo region, I think, Abruzzo, something like that. All right, so our onions are ready. We're gonna get them going. Let's see how that oil feels, or not oil, the ghee. Need to get it back up. And this should take about 15, 20 minutes. What do we wanna do is we want to see the onions getting brown, but not too brown, because they will cook a little bit after we take them off. So that's one of the things we want to be careful about. And I actually have a paper towel here that I'm going to bring. Okay, let's get this in and see if we can get these started. And while these are cooking, I'm going to be stirring, and I will talk to you about what we're going to be doing next. And we'll also get some things prepped. So one of the things we'll be getting prepped in here is, I'm going to put my little handle on. One of the things we'll be getting prepped in here is putting the yogurt, adding it to our chicken that's been marinating. Okay, so we're going to let these go. And let me tidy up so we can get the next steps in. Let's get these onions into the trash because I do not need those. I'm going to need my cutting board to chop up some fresh herbs, which are going to go in our marinated chicken. So I use chicken thighs, by the way. In watching the different creators, most did have, and Archie, you would like this, most did have, getting a little onion peel, drumsticks. I decided not to do drumsticks. I just wanted to keep things a little simpler with chicken thighs. Hubs and I love chicken thighs, so that is what we chose to do. I got 2 pounds of chicken thighs. However, if you wanted to do a pound of drumsticks and a pound of chicken thighs, you could do that too. I saw some creators where they just did drumsticks. That's all they used. And all of them used skinless. The drumsticks, of course, were on the bone. The thighs were usually off the bone. So let's get out our chicken. And what we're going to do, move this, is we're going to add some yogurt to this, and we're going to be adding some fresh herbs. Now my herbs I've already washed, and let me get my yogurt. There we go. Oh, those onions, those certainly woke me up. I was getting a little punchy because, you know, it's that time of day that I could use a coffee or tea or something, and they woke me straight up. So I'm just going to stir these and let these cook down, and I'm looking to get them brown and crispy. What I liked about her method is that I didn't have to, again, literally deep fry these. So the way the Food Lab did it is they put quite a bit of, you know, a neutral oil in here, and they fried them. They deep fried them until they were, they first kind of did it on a higher heat, then they did a lower heat so they could cook a little slower. And yeah, they did it until they were crispy, took them off and spread them out so they could drain, and then we used them in the marinade and in our making of the dish. So here's our chicken. Let me give you a better look at that marinade chicken I told you all about. If you're joining us now, we're making chicken biryani, and I cannot even tell you the aroma of this, the smells are amazing. So delicious. I am so excited about this. So right now I have clean mint, and I'm going to be cutting up some clean mint and some clean cilantro. Let me move my directions over there. So let's get this cut up. Yes, I love red onions too, Marcy. Marcy, what have you been cooking lately? What have you been enjoying? Oh, and Archie did the Food Lab's onion pakora. Yes, they are very good. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for the encouragement. So I'm just going to show you what my onions are doing right now, by the way, just so you can see. Because this is my first time trying her method. I am hoping these will indeed get crispy. Let me show you. So you can see they're just wilting here. They're in the ghee. They're on medium-high heat. That's what she recommended. And now I'm just going to chop up some mint. And I'm going to need a lot. So I'm going to bring this other clean plate because I'm going to need quite a bit of mint and cilantro because not only are we putting it in with the chicken, we're going to be layering it in the final biryani when we stage it for the final part of the cook. So I'm just going to be taking off the leaves of the mint so I can chop them up. It'll be a little bit easier with the cilantro because the stems are so, they're so tender that you can just kind of start chopping from there. But with mint, I do want to take them off the stems because the stems they're a little bit tougher. We don't want to get that in there. There we go. I love mint. There we go. Excellent. So Archie, I saw that you were making another pie this weekend. Did you have to cook on your birthday or did Amy cook for you? I was just curious about that. I was wondering, like, what are the traditions you do for birthdays? And it might be different of what you do with Amy than what you do for yourself, but I was just curious about that, about the different traditions. And also, Archie, I think, I was thinking about it. You and I are both quite stubborn with things. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, we're both Aries, aren't we? Okay, so I'm going to need quite a bit of mint. So I'm just going to keep pulling some of these off. Some of the bruised leaves I'm going to keep away. I'm checking my onions. I'm giving them a little stir, making sure they're all in the hot ghee. Right now, I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. I'm like thinking, how are these things going to crisp up? Like Food Labs did it in hot, like a deep thing of oil, and I get it how those crisp up. So we shall see. I for a moment thought about ordering because I forget what they call them. They call Birista. I think the fried onion part is called Birista, Biristi, something like that. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll just buy them. And then I was reading the reviews and so many people, and I went on Reddit, and so many people were like, no, don't do that. They don't taste right, and that's the base, and it's such an important part of your biryani. So I got scared, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make it myself. I'm going to suck it up, make it myself. So I think this might be enough mint, but I do have my rest of my mint here in case it does look like it's too stingy. So we shall see. All right, so here's my mint, and then we'll get our cilantro. And I'm just going to get this chopped up. So I'm just going to run my knife through it one way, and then I'll run it through the other way. I'm just trying to get it nicely chopped. And again, we're going to be putting some of this right in there, and then some we'll be putting, and actually I think I'm going to be making something special. Well, it's not that special, but something that goes really good with biryani. And I don't think it's mint. I think I need extra cilantro for it. So I don't think the mint I need any extra. And you know what I'll do if I have any of this mint left, I will promptly, because it's already dry and clean, I will promptly put it in my freezer. Because that's my favorite thing to do with my tender herbs is they freeze up so nicely. So if you're not freezing your herbs, you need to go with the program. Okay, so there's our chopped mint. And I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to put it right here on our chicken, and then we're going to get some cilantro. No, that's still mint. So that's all mint. Where's my cilantro? Pray tell. Let me see if I can figure out where that went. You think you're ready. You're on a live stream. You think you're ready. Then, oh, here it is. Oh, my goodness. Apparently, I have quite a bit of mint. There we go. Okay, well, they are starting to ever so slightly brown. There's still so much moisture, and so I know that is what's preventing it from, getting the brown and crispy that we need, so I'm going to be patient. Okay, so now here's our clean cilantro, and this is a little bit easier because I can literally just take this off right off the top because the stems are so tender. There we go. And I will need some of this for something else we're making that's going to go great with biryani. Any guesses as to what I might be making that I need some cilantro for that will go great with our biryani? Any guesses from everyone? Oh, good to know, Michael. He said that he was never a fan of mint in savory dishes until he had it in biryani. So I will have to say, Michael, I was with you. I the only thing I liked mint in, besides like actual mints or, you know, like a candy, was actually cocktails, like mojito. I didn't really get the mint thing in food, but biryani, it's delicious in. And I made this salad, I think once on live stream, and it was a salad that we had in a place here in Philly called Pizzeria Stella, and they make this wonderful Italian salad, and in it they use ricotta salata. It's just like a typical salad, I think, with romaine, and maybe it might have some bitter greens in there too. In any event, besides ricotta salata, which is delightful in it, they have some Italian parsley, and they have mint. And I'm telling you, that mint in that salad, it is fabulous. And I mean, it's one of my favorite salads there at that restaurant. And they use just a typical like vinaigrette dressing, you know, like an Italian vinaigrette kind of dressing, homemade dressing from the restaurant. So there we have it. I'm going to put a little bit of this in there too. And I just want to remind myself, I'm going to set some of this aside. I probably don't need that much. I probably just need about, there we go. I just want to set some of that aside for the other things. So here are my herbs. I'm going to put my herbs aside right now and tidy up a second. We're going to add the yogurt in just a minute. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have herbs everywhere. It's like springtime in my kitchen. Okay, let's put this away. So, who has made biryani? First of all, is there anyone that has never tasted biryani? I would love to know that. And by the way, if you're just joining us, you may chat or you may watch from afar, but we are a fun group, so feel free to say hello down below in the chat. And yes, so I'm wondering who has had biryani, and I know Michael has, and I'm sure Archie has. And where did my little washcloth go? Oh, here it is. And who has ever cooked biryani? Because while I have enjoyed biryani, I had never cooked it. I just felt like it was going to be a little too much process for me. You know, it's so funny the things that we sometimes get intimidated by. Let me show you where my onions are right now. Now, part of what's going to make this difficult, I'm not going to lie, is because I did not use a mandolin. Not everything is all the same thickness, so some might get done sooner than others. So you can see they're just starting. Can you see they're just starting to get a little bit of brownness? Marcy's never had it. Marcy, it is absolutely delicious. If you're at an Indian restaurant, I highly recommend giving it a try. It is so good. I mean, I am partial to rice dishes. I don't know if I've ever met a rice I didn't like, no matter what cuisine it was in. But biryani is quite delicious. Okay, so while our onions are cooking, we are now going to add some yogurt. So again, in some of them, they add it straight off. Others, they add it right before cooking. But we're going to add it now, and we need about 3/4 cup of plain yogurt. So I'm going to do this. So this is just plain Greek yogurt, 3/4 cup. I'm going to eyeball it. That's 1/4. That's another quarter. And that's about another quarter. Okay, that should do. The one thing that surprised me making this was the lemon juice. I thought that was really cool. And this is not going to work because this thing is too flimsy. I need a stronger spoon. Okay, let me get a stronger spoon. There we go. I could use my hands. I'm not going to today. I'm not opposed to using my hands. I use my hands for like meatballs and things like that. But because of doing these onions, I kind of want to make sure my hands are clean in case I need to tend to anything. So all I'm doing is mixing this yogurt in with the herbs into the chicken thighs. Oh, it smells amazing. I think my favorite thing about cooking is the aromatherapy we get while we're doing it, right? Isn't that like it's like everything is assaulted. Your senses, taste, sight, it's all good stuff. Okay, so this has been mixed. I'm going to put this back in the fridge because we are going to be starting to cook this after we've done our rice, while our rice is resting. So I'm going to leave this in case I need to use that spoon again. And let's get this covered back up and put in the fridge. And our onions are continuing to brown a little bit. I am a little worried they're going to get a little bit too brown. So I'm going to turn this down because I don't want them to be black. Because they can get bitter. All the websites said if they get too dark, they will get bitter. Oh yes, it's yelling at me. It's not very happy with me. Okay, let's see. So I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to try using tongs to get some of them out. See how that works. Get some tongs, get the ones darker out, and see if I can't keep the ones that need a little bit more time. I don't know if that's really going to work well. You know the best laid plans. Now, what I don't know is if some of these are going to crisp up. Again, if I did it the way the Food Labs did, we would have deep fried. I'm sure my friend Archie's probably laughing. We're like, oh, Phil, just fry it for goodness sakes. But yeah. Oh, and I did see, I forgot to mention this. I didn't do this time because I actually liked the idea of the oil getting, of the ghee, I keep saying oil, the ghee getting flavored by the onions and adding to the flavors in the chicken. So I loved that idea. But what I was going to tell you is that I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Ministry of Curry or if it was Swathi's Recipes. One of them talked about air frying the onions. So I was like, ooh, I would definitely try that next time if I was doing it. Again, I wanted to get some of that flavor in the ghee. Okay, so I'm taking some of these out and I'm going to return the heat back to, but I'm going to stay a little lower because I feel like it was a little too hot. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cover this, put this back in the fridge, and I'll talk to you about what we're going to do in our next step while our onions are finishing up. So meanwhile, before I came on stream, I was getting my rice rinsed. Now, a lot of you may or may not be familiar that in many, in America by and large, a lot of Americans don't rinse their rice. I'm not saying all don't, but I know growing up, my mom never rinsed her rice. I learned about that later as a cook. And the main reason for rinsing rice is to rinse off the starch and allow when it cooks to have more separate grains, which I totally get and think is a great idea. So, oops, that one's a little dark. Let me just try to get some of these dark ones out. But I will say whenever I'm cooking something, especially from another cuisine where they say to rinse the rice, I want to make sure and follow the recommendation. So, and with this, they recommend rinsing the rice quite well. So I found it was funny, they talked about, I think on the YouTube channel, he talked about rinsing, 2 or 3 times. It took me like 5 times because it was still really cloudy. And honestly, even at the end, I still don't feel like my rice water is as clear as his was. And I've done it 5 times. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Use basmati rice. And so I'm going to show you that so you can see that my rice is actually, I've rinsed it 5 times. And it still is just a little bit cloudy. So let me just show that to you. See? It's just a tiny, now I am in a white bowl, so that makes it a little difficult. But so that has been rinsed 5 times and has been soaking for about, I'd say about 45 minutes. Some places said 20 minutes, some places said up to an hour. So that's kind of what I was doing. Meanwhile, I got my water, 8 cups of water up here to a boil. So I'm just going to return that to a boil because we're going to be cooking our rice in just a minute. And what's really cool about when they cook their rice is they're cooking it more like pasta. So they're cooking it in a bunch of water. The first cook is in a bunch of water for about 5 or 6 minutes to get it 90% cooked. And then we're going to be adding some aromatics to that water. So let me talk to you about what that is while these onions continue to brown. I'm going to turn it down one more. So in that water, whoopsie, I lost a bay leaf. In that water, I'm going to bring you down to show you what we're going to be adding. So to that water, we are going to be adding 2 bay leaves, a cinnamon stick. Again, I'm mixing some of the different recipes. Some said cinnamon sticks, all said cardamom pods. I did not have cardamom pods. So I did have a cinnamon stick, so we're not able to do cardamom pods. There are 8 cloves here, star anise, and then actually I gave too many, I forgot. He said 4 black peppercorns And then on the YouTuber also recommended a little bit of lemon squeezed, and you pop it right in, and then you take it out before the final cook. So this just goes in with the boiling water. So that's going to go in before we put our rice in. So we're waiting for it to get to a boil. There we go. And I think our onions might be about as done as they're going to be. So I'm going to get these out and drained. So since I didn't, use a mandolin, these did not get as uniform, which is the good thing about a mandolin, is it would have been much more uniform. I'm trying to squeeze out some of the oil or the ghee, by the way, because I want that ghee to be used for the chicken that we're going to be cooking in here in just a little bit. So I'm getting that back up to a boil. Let's see, squeezing some of this. Let me use, just patiently getting this out. And let me get this. I'm going to use my little spoon here to get the last bits of onion. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's it. That worked quite well. Get those out. Okay. So that will leave here to start the cooking. I'm going to do my rice over here because it's not going to be very exciting. So I'm going to bring you over to see what we're going to do to the rice once it gets to boiling. And it's going to be boiling. We want it at a rolling boiling. We want it at a rolling, oh my gosh, I can't talk. We want it at a rolling boil. There we go. Bingo. So Marcy said, I would love to try Indian dishes are good with very interesting flavors. Yes. Hands are the perfect thing. I know, Michael, I know, but I feel like on a live stream, I'm like, okay, so I got to be able to do this, and then, so yeah, I agree though. They are a great tool. And Archie, good food together. Yogurt is a luxury in Indian restaurants. And add a tablespoon of water to the onion spill. Oh, I didn't see this until now. So Archie, tell me why for that tablespoon of water, because I'd like to know more about that. Oh, yes, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we want them crisp. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, Michael, thank you. That I like that brain match. So we really, see, that's what I was thinking. We really want the ghee to have that good flavor, base of flavor before we do the chicken. So it's okay if they don't all get crisp like that. Thank you so much. I know, so sometimes it's more about progress, not perfection, right? Wouldn't you say? So next thing we're going to do while we're waiting for our water to come to a boil is when we finally layer everything, we're going to be pouring over top some saffron milk. So I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of milk here, and I'm going to be adding a pinch of saffron to it and let that steep. So at the end, I can spoon it over the rice. So this will be adding to color and flavor. And I'm just going to, I know I can eyeball it, but what the heck? Let me just do this. So 2 tablespoons of milk. There we go. So Barb and Diana, have you ever had biryani? I'm wondering about that. Let me put the spoons over there. And then I'm just going to warm this milk in my microwave. Watch it, of course, because I don't want it boiling. I just want to warm it. Let's see. So maybe, yes, I think 15 seconds. Let me see. I think 15 seconds might be nice. Oh, 15 seconds is perfect. So 15 seconds with 2 tablespoons of milk, and then we're going to take a pinch of saffron. Of course, I love that this is the kind of equal thread. Of course, saffron is an amazing spice. It's a very expensive spice, so use it sparingly, but this is what I used in the paella. So I love that I'm seeing this thread kind of matching into our biryani. So I'm taking a pinch, and then I'm going to stir this up and let that steep in there, and it's going to give my milk this wonderful yellow color. And that is going to be one of the signature colors you'll see in the biryani in the final dish. So we're going to let this sit out and just hang out until it's time to layer. And I think my rice is boiling. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these aromatics and I'm going to put them in my pot of boiling water. Now, I will say 8 cups goes quite close to the top there, which I'm a little worried about. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of it out because I think we're going to have a run over if I don't. So I'm going to be taking some of this out. It's not going to be 8 cups. And I think it should be fine because I do have a bit of rice that's going in there. I'll keep this here in case I can pour that back in. So I'm putting all these in. Plus I need to get a good amount of salt in there. So I squeeze the lemon, drop the lemon in. And then for my salt, I'm going to be putting in, I'm looking for my salt amount. 1.5 tablespoons of salt. You want your water quite salty. Salty like the sea. Oh, and I'm going to need more salt than that. I don't even have enough salt there, so I'm going to get out my salt reserves. Oh, let's see. Let's use our kosher salt. So I'm going to put 1, that's teaspoon, 2, 3, and then that was 1 tablespoon, and there. Okay, so we're making that salty like the sea. And we want it at a rolling boil. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying rolling boil. Who knew? It's funny how certain things just don't go well together. And then what we're going to do next is I'm going to drain my rice. So it's been soaking. Drain it and then put that in. So I'm draining it like this so that I can put it back into this white bowl and then get it out. Okay, so there we go. So I don't lose a lot. I'm just going to take this and get this in. There we go. So it's been soaking for an hour, and already that water smells wonderful. Now, one thing, I do not have the extra long basmati rice. The basmati rice that would be lovely for you to have in this dish would be the extra long basmati rice. I don't know how long mine's going to go. I think it's going to be a little stubby. And so we want this to go back up to a boil. We want this to cook for 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to do 6 just because I see right now that, my boiling has stopped. So I'm going to do 6 minutes. And they said don't stir harshly. You want to stir gently because you don't want to break the rice. Now, again, my rice is not very long, so I think that's more if you have the long basmati rice. This is just kind of your normal basmati rice. So we're going to let that cook away, and when the timer's out, we're going to be removing it. It should be 90% cooked, and then we're going to spread it out onto a plate and fluff it with a fork just to let some of the steam escape because it's going to finish cooking in the pot. So let's see what everyone's talking about. So Archie said, oh yes, if it was, gotcha. It accelerates the softening of the onion base. Gotcha. And Barbara has it. Oh, Barbara, this will be delightful. I wish you could taste it. Biryani is the wedding dish, I believe, in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. And Diana said she's had it in a restaurant before, but not for ages. Yes, it is delightful. Okay, meanwhile, so we have all of these steps done. We have our saffron milk steeping. We have our herbs set because our herbs were going to be used to kind of layer everything at the end. And so pretty soon it's going to be time to do our chicken. So I'm going to get my chicken out. There we go. And I'm going to get my heat back up on this. Okay, I'm going to start at 5. When I start my chicken cooking, I am going to do it at a higher heat, and then we'll turn it down, higher heat for 5 minutes, and then medium heat for 5 minutes. So I just find this recipe really interesting that there's so many different components that are happening. We've got our rice component, we have our chicken component, we of course have all the aromatics and the herbs, which by the way, many of the content creators talked about You can, if you don't mind having the aromatics go right into the final dish, just let them go in. If it bothers you, you can take them out, or you can put them in some muslin for a bouquet garni, if you prefer it that way. I do want to remember to fish out the lemon dough. The other interesting thing is after we're done getting the chicken cooked, oh, I just realized I was supposed to add some of these onions to my chicken. So I'm going to add some of these to the chicken. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. So I'm going to add about, probably about a quarter of these to the chicken. There we go. And the others will go on the rice. Okay. I am going to stir these up here for cooking. There we go. Okay. Excellent. So we'll have that flavor in the chicken too. So this is already getting warm. Okay. So I am going to start getting this cooked, and I'm going to get it up to high heat. There we go. So we're going to have lots of good smells going in here. And I'm going to bring you around so you can kind of see what's happening. Let me just get some water in there. And turn up the heat up to 9. And then bring you over so you can see. Okay. Whoops. Let's see here. You can see y'all on my computer. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So right now what we're going to be doing is just getting this cooking on a high heat for about 5 minutes. I've got that down. Move this over. Alrighty. So get some high heat going in here. You can see that. Thank you, Michael. Stubby rice is going to be fine. So Michael mentioned, so thank you for the tip, Michael. He said he didn't do a good job separating after cooking. Yes, I noticed. I would have never known to even do that. However, again, on the one content creator who is, let me look at his name, or the channel is Your Food Lab, he did suggest that. So once we get to that step, I'll show you what I do with it, the rice, once it's done cooking. It should be done in about 1.5 minutes. I'm going to stir my rice one more time. There we go. I'm stirring it. And actually, I'm going to get one of my tongs over here to kind of flip my chicken over. There we go. And by the way, I did find out from the Food Lab that this kind of biryani is called dum biryani, chicken dum biryani, and that is not meaning that someone is not quite with it, but the dum refers to the final steaming, which is done in a very tight lid, and I'm going to be using a damp muslin to make sure I get a tight fit, and it's actually going to have some protection being on a griddle so that it's able to make sure it's not burning on the bottom, but just helping it steam and cook the rest of the way and get the proper texture that we want. So again, I just found it most important before making this. Oh my gosh, Michael, it does. It smells ridiculous. I found it most important when making this to really watch some of these videos and get an idea of all the steps and what we were going to be doing. I felt like that really helped best of all. Okay, so I have this on a high heat. So we're just getting, what we're doing is reducing down this sauce marinade, by the way, and my rice is done. So I am going to bring you back around while that part's happening so that you can see what's happening with the rice. So let me just turn y'all up, friends. Okay, so this is cooking, and I need my little handle, and I'm going to drain my rice. Oh, I need my big one for that. There we go. Okay, I'm going to drain my rice. Straining. I must say I've never cooked rice this way, which is much more like a pasta technique than a rice technique. I've never done that. So this is definitely a new thing, a new way. So excited about that. I'm going to just handle my chicken a little bit, doing a little multitasking. and I need to go get my plate so I can let my rice and fluff out and steam a bit. There we go. All right, just a second, let me go get that. Let me bring this here. All my notes, but by the way, look at that. That's all my notes. I cracked myself up. But this is quite the complicated dish, so we want to make sure we're ready. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I have a fork. I'm dripping. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. Oh, the one thing I did not add to this, I did want to let you know, I did not have, and at the time could not find, if I had more time, because I'm going to be honest, I forgot that was one of the ingredients, was any cumin seeds or, what was the name that they had? It was cumin seeds, it was another kind of seed. I have it written down, I'll get that for y'all. And I did not have that. So because of that, it was called, where is it? Rice. Caraway seeds. Because I didn't have it, I didn't add anything. I had done a lot of research of what substitutes could be. If I didn't have, again, the cumin or the caraway, I did read from some people saying maybe you could do it with fennel seeds, which I did have, and then others said it's just too different a flavor, don't do that. So I decided not to do it, and we're just leaving that out. So if you can get caraway seeds or cumin seeds, that is traditional, and that would be cooking with the rice. So I just wanted to mention that out. So all I'm doing here is I'm trying to just let out some of the steam. This is what was recommended by the food lab. Just let out some of the steam, and that will help with the layering once we get to that stage. I just don't want this to become like one big plop of rice. There we go. So I'm just letting some of that steam out so it stays kind of light and fluffy. There we go. All right, so we're going to keep our rice over there, and let's check our chicken. Our chicken is getting even browned on one side. That's awesome. This is great. Again, this is 2 pounds of chicken thighs that I elected to do instead of drumsticks and chicken thighs. You could choose what you would like to do. All right, and now this has probably been about 5 minutes on high, so I'm going to turn this down to medium now and let it cook for another 5 minutes on medium. So let me put my timer on, and I'm going to turn off my heat, and I'm going to put my pot over there. Okay, so in fact, I'm trying to think, oh, I will need this for the extra thing, that's right. So then meanwhile, over here, I'm gonna get this staged and ready. So I'm gonna be using a griddle, again, creating just extra protection. You could just use a really, thick bottom pot, but if you at all want some extra protection, you can put it on the griddle, and that way, when we do our final cooking, it's gonna go right on there, and that's going to provide a little protection. The other thing that we're going to do is, I'm going to get this damp just so it's ready. And that's just a muslin cloth, a tea towel, if you, so to speak. So I'm just going to squeeze all the extra water out of that. And then I'm going to be tying this around the bottom of my lid that I'm going to be using, and that way it'll create a real, that didn't quite get it all. Let me do a little bit more. I thought the water all went through. I do want to make sure this is moist, because I think that actually helps. It helps create a good seal, as well as adding that moisture. There we go. That's much better. So I'm going to put this down here. And then we're going to bring it up to the top. Now, the other ways you could do it, because you can watch at the food lab, is you can actually take this towel and ring it up and like have it go around the edge. I'm not going to be that talented, so I'm doing it the other way. This was someone else that was, I think, on a YouTube video that said this way. I'm like, this is more my speed, my style. So then this will be going on top of the dish just to make sure it's solid. And then I'm even going to put my mortar and pestle. Yeah, this is the mortar. Is this the mortar? Is that the pestle? The pestle. This is the mortar. Right. Oh, these are the questions we have, friends. So this I'm going to put upside down to create even more heaviness for when we do our final cook. All right. So let me check our chicken. There we go. I do want the sauce, so to speak, to reduce down a bit. So we are looking for that to occur. So it's good having all this evaporation as the chicken is cooking and kind of just deepen. And if for some reason the chicken is cooked and I feel like I need to reduce this and make it a little bit thicker, I can remove my chicken and continue to reduce and then add my chicken back. So we'll just do a game time decision to see if that's how it is. So let me bring you back over so you can see how that's going. Okay, there you go. So you can see our rice is there. There we go. So our rice is over here, staying breezy and steamy. The chicken is cooking. Let's see here. I'm just seeing what the chat is saying. Archie says, there's a royal biryani they cook for weddings. I've seen it done for about 80 people in a huge biryani pot. Oh, that sounds amazing. It took 5 chefs to make it. The pot was 6 feet wide. That's incredible, Archie. That kind of makes me think about, there was a, I think maybe it was Jose Andres was making a huge paella pan, and I want to say it was at least 6 feet across. Like it was enormous to feed, and it might have been even after disaster he was doing that. But I think he was the one that I saw that happening. Similar thing, just to feed a crowd. That is wonderful. What a special dish that would be. And yes, Michael, as I said before, that the smell is amazing. This is real life home cooking. That's right. Multitasking, right? The smell is just great. It just smells so good. Okay, so we have about 26 seconds left of cooking. So I am going to remove the chicken and let the sauce reduce a little bit. So I'm going to get another plate so that I can do that. I'm just going to put this aside because I need this later, but I don't need it right now. So let me take out the chicken because our timer is about to go off. Hearing now. Yep, there it is. And let's see, and just turn it one more time. Oopsie, yeah, the chicken is getting cooked. So time to remove it. All right, you can tell it's getting tender. Okay. Oh, yum. Get this one. Go. Whoopsie. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, I just want to get the chicken out of here so this can reduce a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at that sauce. I just want it to deepen a little bit and reduce a little bit. I just want it a little bit thicker. And I know this only because of watching the videos. So with watching the videos, I felt like I could see the texture that we're going to want so that we get a product at the end that we are happy with. And while that's doing that, I'm going to bring over our other ingredients because we are going to be building this biryani. And actually, I'm going to now take the heat off, or actually, I think I might keep it on 1. I'll keep it on 1. I'm going to bring over my onions. I'm going to I brought over my powder that we've had. And I'm bringing over my herbs. So all of our ingredients that we're going to need. Okay, so in doing this, first of all, let's see the thickness of it. It's loose, but it's a little darker and it's gotten a little bit thicker, and that's, I think, going to be just nice. So I'm going to put my chicken back. I'm going to flip that over, actually. Just nestle that in, all this good stuff. Get this all in. Sorry for my hands and arms. Get all that good stuff in there. Don't want to miss any of the flavor. Okay. All right. So now we're going to be layering flavors and to create this dish that's going to be gorgeous and delicious. So I got to resort to my notes to make sure I'm remembering what we're doing next. So after we have this in here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start layering the herbs again. Again, this is kind of a combination of the different techniques I saw, and this also leans heavily on what the food labs were doing, because I really loved how he did his final product. So here I'm going to be layering some of our mint. Actually, this might be the coriander. This is the coriander. And some of our mint. Like that. And then I'm also going to give a pinch of this masala powder. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. Just get a little flavor right there. All right. Just get a little extra flavor. And so I'm looking at my notes here. So we've got our mint, coriander, pinch of the biryani masala. Oh, and then some fried onions. And I'm trying to remember if it's all of the fried onions or I'm just looking a second. Yes, I need fried onions one more time. So I'm going to do half of these fried onions then. So I'm going to do half of these fried onions. Just kind of layer them over. There we go. And then these we'll save for the top. Okay? All right? So we've got those ingredients, and now is the layering of the rice. And this is the part you want to be careful about. It's kind of what Michael was saying, is we want this to go on quite light. So we don't want this to be dense. So I'm going to be taking much care, spreading this out in a way that keeps it airy, because you don't want to pack everything down. That's one thing that they were talking about. So I'm just trying to kind of spread this out. Sorry again for my arms. I want to keep it nice and light. There we go. I'm getting rice everywhere. The home cook and all the messes that happen. I love having these whole spices in here, because I feel like it just adds to it all, you know. It just makes, it just makes it all look just beautiful and just even more flavor. I'm going to keep that star anise right there. I guess get all of it in. I'm just, again, so light, keeping it nice and light. Just threw some rice in the ground. Fun. All right, so there we go. Okay, so there's our rice layer. The next thing we're going to do is we're layering again. So now we're going to be adding the cilantro, the mint. So we're going to add the cilantro, get those herbs. We're going to be adding the mint. I think that's enough. And then we're going to be adding the fried onions. Just get those fried onions on. Getting them there. So this will be quite the presentation. Hubs will be so impressed. Let me get those last of those onions there. Let no onion be left behind. Okay. All right. And then let me just check my things. Oh, and then we would like a little bit of warm ghee and the saffron milk. So here's our saffron milk. Now, and I'm going to turn off the heat now because we're getting to the end. Because I don't have any more ghee left, I'm actually just going to warm up some butter because, as we know, the only difference would be the fact that this butter has the solids there. And so we can forgive Philly for adding some butter that the solids are not removed. I know I technically could remove it, but you know what? The little solids won't bother me. So I'm just letting that warm up. And we're going to pour some butter for flavor there. And we're also going to be pouring this saffron milk. So there we go. And this is what really gives it that iconic color once you take it out. There we go. And our butter is warming. There we go. Excellent. Our butter's all set. And so we're going to pour the little butter over. Turn off that. And we are almost ready for the final cook of it. There we go. Excellent. Okay. That was about a tablespoon that I put in there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my lid that has the damp tea towel twisted on it. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to take this and bring it over to the oven. So let me bring this over here and bring you back up. Okay. Whoopsie, let me get you back there. Okay, so now I bring this back over, and I'm going to get this on back here on high. I think it's high for 5 minutes. Let me double check. It says place on a griddle 5 minutes at a high flame. Oh, that is heavy. My goodness. Get a workout doing that. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put it back there 5 minutes on a high flame. Let me make sure that seems like it's in the right spot. Timer. So it'll cook 5 minutes on high flame. Then I'm going to be putting it down to a low flame. Let me look at my notes. For 10 to 15 minutes. And then we turn it off and let it rest for 10 minutes. So there's a little bit of waiting and patience involved in this last part. So it looks like we're done, but there is some cooking that still needs to happen. Because remember, the rice is just parboiled. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're making chicken biryani. And we've just made our final steps, and we're in the final cooking process. So while everything has been mostly cooked, the chicken is just about all cooked, it does need some time to kind of get happy together in the pot, and the rice will do its final steaming. And then I can't talk. It enables all the aromatics to kind of go through and flavor, even though some are on the bottom. We have that rice that has, had those spices and lemon and everything added to it. Oh, by the way, the one thing that the food lab said, the reason for the lemon is it's supposed to make your rice lighter and fluffier. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Don't tell me twice. So let me tidy up, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to make boneless to go with our chicken biryani. Did anyone have any guesses of what the boneless thing is going to be? I wondered. Thank you, Marcy. Yes, the flavors are going to be great. And Archie said, those festival pailles are great to witness. Have you seen one, Archie? I would love to see that. I would love that. I've never seen one of those done. That would be amazing. And let me see what else. Barb says, looks really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hopefully it'll all taste good, right? Because the proof's in the pudding, so to speak. So I'm actually going to do a bit of tidying before I do the final thing I'm going to cook. Does anyone have any? I think y'all got a little quiet here. Does anyone have any guesses as to what I might be making to go with my biryani? It is a great accompaniment that you, if you were at an Indian restaurant, would most likely have.
Fruit salad.
Fruit salad. Hub said fruit salad. Hub's awakes from the dead. He's giving me side eye. Giving me a little side eye, I dare say. Well, I'm waiting to see if anyone has any guesses. Oh, Archie thought gin. Gin. No, it's not gin. Good guess, though, Arch. And thank you for guessing. It's not fruit salad, as Hub said. So it's not fruit salad. It's not gin. Any guesses? It is an Indian dish. be something you would get at the restaurant. It has cooling properties. That's a guess. I mean, that's a clue. That give it away. Let me just get a little soap in here. Ice cream, Hubs said. No, it's not ice cream. Hubs has such an educated guess. I'm so proud of him. All right. Let me get this here. Get a little tidying, and then I'm going to start making. Let's see what y'all came up with. Archie's the only one that guessed. Okay. You did guess. Thanks, babe. So it is called a raita, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. Archie, Michael, do you know a raita? And it is made with yogurt, cucumber, onion, cilantro, a little bit of pepper. Am I forgetting something? Well, I will soon look to let you know if I forgot something. But it is a nice accompaniment because some parts of biryani can be quite flavorful, and some might even say a little bit spicy. I've had some biryanis that aren't spicy, and I've had some biryanis that are spicy. And I remember the one that I had that was a bit spicy. It took me totally by surprise. So I was having this big old bite, and it was a spicy bite, and I was like, oh my gosh, it taught me a lesson to make sure that you were always careful with Indian cooking and what you're biting, because you never know, it might be a little spicier than you're giving it credit to being. But luckily I had some water, and I think they had some raita there too, if I'm saying it right. Okay, we're almost done tidying. Tidying is not a fun thing to watch on live stream, but it is a practical part of the home cook, isn't it? And our 5 minutes are almost up, and we're gonna be lowering it down to low. Oh, I can turn off that. Let's see, oh, 30 seconds, friends. Let me unplug this and move this someplace else. There we go. Oh, I feel like I have so much space now. It's amazing when you take off the little burner. It widens everything. Get all this rice here. Let's see. Okay. There we go. And then we will make this. And by the time we're done making this, we can chit-chat, and our biryani will be about done. So that 5 minutes are up. So the high heat is done. I'm going to now turn it down to low. So turned it to low. I hear it bubbling. Heard it bubbling there. There we go. Get this tidied. Put my saffron over here. Phil, put down the knife. Right, Archie? I look like I'm onward for battle. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to bring my cutting board back over and a few ingredients to talk to. Oh, I forgot to put my timer on. Let's see. Let's go. Let's say, you know, I just want to make sure the rice cooks enough. So I'm going to say 14 minutes. We're going to be patient. How about that, right? Okay, back to here. So we've got our herbs. I don't think I need mint. I think I just need cilantro. So in our raita, we're using cumin. I forgot. That cumin is one of the ingredients. So this was the red pepper I was telling you about that I was able to get for the paste that I used in my marinade. It's in the super hot pepper. It's not like a Thai pepper, but it's a new one that they have at my local market, and I thought this might do well. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding, let me get a bowl. There we go. So in a bowl, we are going to be adding some yogurt. Let me get the yogurt. Okay, so let me get the amounts here. Where did I go? Oh, there it is. A cup of yogurt. Oh, I'm glad I have as much as I do because I'm going to be using that up. There we go. Let's put this back here. Rinse this off so I can use it. So we're going to be getting a cup of yogurt. I'm going to use my Greek yogurt. And I'm just going to eyeball that. Okay. That should be about, there we go. Okay, that should be good. Should be about a cup. Okay, cup of yogurt. And then we're going to need a half cup of cucumber. You can or cannot peel the cucumber. This is an English cucumber, so does not have a really tough skin. So I would definitely say if you had, a more ordinary cucumber, I would definitely peel it. I want a half cup, so let's see how this goes. I like seeing a little green. I like color. You know what I'll do? I know I'll do. We'll do a good intermediate. I'm just going to take some of the skin off, and that way some will be peeled and some won't be. There we go. It's a happy medium. So I'm just kind of peeling it a bit, some of the skins. And then I'm just going to, because I want this to be quite small. So I'm just going to flip this over and then make strips and then cube that. There we go. Okay. So that's a little bit more than a half cup, but I like a chunky raita, so I'm going to use all of it. What's wrong with a little veg, right? And then we're going to need, I think, only about, let me look here, about 2 to 4 tablespoons of shallot. So I'm going to stick with the 2 tablespoons of shallot here. So you can make it as oniony as you like. And it doesn't have to be shallot. That's what she recommended. It could just be onion. If it was me, I probably would go for like a sweeter onion if I was just using a regular onion. Shallots, you know, they just have a kind of a unique flavor. So if it was me, I'd probably do a sweet onion or a shallot. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do 2 tablespoons of that, and we're going to mince this up quite small because we don't want to get any big pieces of onion. So I'm just going to do some slices. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Go into a nice fine mince. There we go. That worked out quite nice. And then we're going to add that. Oops, I don't want the onion skin. I don't want the big piece of onion. And we're going to add that to, it's about 2 tablespoons. Ooh, that's smarted. Okay. And then they also said to it that you could add 1 to 2 green chilies. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to add the rest of this one. Again, just going to make this my own. There's not many. Oh, there's a few. I'm going to take out the seeds because I don't really want to have this be hot. I want to have flavor, so I'll take out the seeds. But you could leave them in if you want. Depends on what you prefer. So I'm going to slice it and then mince it. There we go. By the way, in the mortar and pestle, that's how I made my paste. I hadn't made a pepper paste in my mortar and pestle before. I'd only done like pestos, things like that, and crushing some spices, but I hadn't done that, so that was kind of cool. And then our final ingredients, we are going to be adding a half teaspoon of cumin. So here's our cumin, ground cumin. Get a half teaspoon. There we go. Half teaspoon of that, and then some salt, and it says a quarter teaspoon of salt. So let's get my salt. There we go, and that'll do it. And then we're going to stir that up, so I'll show you all. So that's what we've got here. Let me bring you to that. So there we go. Those are our ingredients, and we're going to stir it up. And then we are going to have a raita. It smells good. And this just makes this is a nice creamy side to go with. Of course, I need to taste it and make sure the seasoning is right. So yeah, I was very excited about this? Okay, let me give it a little taste. Ooh. Oh, that pepper has some heat. I'm glad I only used that much. Oh, because it's a pepper. Hubs is feeling a little bit funny right now. He asked me if I knew why I had a little bit of heat, and I said because it's a pepper. But it is good heat. Archie, do you think Hubs will be able to handle the heat? That is the question. Okay, so I'm going to put my raita in this. There we go. It's very delicious, though. If you don't, you know, not everyone likes heat, so if you don't like the heat, you could use a jalapeno, which has less heat, or you could just leave it out altogether. You know, not everyone likes heat, so there's our raita there. I'm going to get our plates out. And it's time to eat. And my herbs, you know what I'm going to do with those. I'm definitely going to put those in the freezer, so I'll do that before I forget. Let me bring this over here. And we have some onion left over. I think I've got my onion bag in there. I can just throw those in. We are getting there, friends. Now, we still have that final steaming part. Let me check the timer and see when that is supposed to start. And I'm trying to find my onion. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness. 1 second, friends. I'm lost here in my fridge looking for where my shallots were. Did I have the bag out here? Okay, I will do this later. My apologies. I don't know what happened to my shallots. There was a bag. I'll find it. I'm going to put this over here for right now. And let's see what our timer says. Oh, almost tripped. Our timer says 5 more minutes, and then it will be 10 minutes after that. So what I'm going to do is tidy this up. And I'm going to put these herbs into the freezer so that I can use them at a later time. I'm going to take a little bit drink of water. And Hubs, if you want to wash any dishes, be my guest. He glared at me. He did a little glaring, friends. That's what I think. I think we had a little glaring there. So the funny story in our home is that he glares at me, but what usually happens when Phil is cooking, and Hubs is wonderful at cleaning up. I'm so grateful to the fact that he cleans up dishes because first of all, I love to cook. I don't love cleaning up. And my son Matt is understanding that issue because he loves to cook and he doesn't love cleaning up and he doesn't have someone to clean his dishes, so he knows it's up to him. But the funniest thing that I tease Hubs about is that, your tag, is that when I'm cooking dinner, oftentimes I'm just about ready to plate and for us to sit down and eat, and then he starts cleaning the dishes. And do I get a little frustrated?
Never.
I get a little frustrated because I'm like, what are you doing? It's time to eat. It's not time to clean up right now. Although I do appreciate you cleaning up. Okay, so I need to get a little container for this. Let me find this for mint and for... All right, let's see here, friends. Let me just get my lids. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yes, this is a dish heavy meal. So let me just write. I want to write mint and cilantro so I don't forget which ones are which. Highly recommend that. If you freeze your herbs, make sure and label them. Because sometimes you'll know what they are. Like obviously dill, you know it's dill, and chives, you know it's chives. But these other ones, if they're minced similarly, it's hard to tell. So I'm going to put cilantro and mint. Oops. And then I'm just going to take that in, put that in there, and put this in the freezer. Mint. And so just pop this in the freezer. And here's all my cilantro. I go through cilantro like no one's business. So that cilantro, I like cilantro. Because I use it, it's used in both Asian cooking and in Latin Mexican cooking. So there's lots of uses for it. So, and this just goes in your freezer. And see, they're all dry, so they stay separate. It works brilliantly. Yes, it is. Oh, in fact, I'll show you all something. See, just to show that this is real life.
Please, sir.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm going to put it here, though, because I need to show something. He just said no to me. Did y'all hear that? I think I need to put your thing on because, or do you not want your microphone on yet?
Not yet.
He said no. He doesn't want it on yet. What do we think about that? I don't know. So let me get one more container out because I just got some basil ready. Oh, what container should I use? Oh, it's in here. That's right. All right. Now we need to write basil on here, although basil still has an aroma even when it is frozen. Okay, so then watch. This is what I do. So I had this basil plant, and I just took the leaves off. See that? Here's my freezer. So then what you do is you take out the air, and you just crunch, 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 crunch. Oops, I'm getting basil everywhere. Shush. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He's laughing at me. The little. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. So, and then see now it's all in smaller pieces. I'm gonna do that one more time. So I'm gonna put that in, let that refreeze, because you don't want it to totally thaw, so you wanna do it quite quick. So we'll do that one more time, and then I'll put it in this container, and it's ready to use.
So one thing to make sure
Yes.
is that it's sealed.
No, it can't be sealed, because you need to have all the air out. Like, it's actually easier to have it unsealed. I know that seems counterintuitive, but have you ever done that before? So you wouldn't necessarily know, would you? Alrighty. Washing dishes is a nice trade-off for this dish. I agree, Michael. Oh, basil, Phil. Well, when I'm in England, I'll call it basil, my friends. But yes, we do say basil. And I think the Italians say basil too, right? I would think.
I do not
know. Oh, and it's coriander, not cilantro. Yes, thank you from Worcestershire. And Archie says, I'm expecting him to file for divorce after seeing you gratuitously adding that red chili. I know. It is a little bit. So our timer went off. So we are in our final stretch, which means now I turn off the heat. We turn off the heat. No heat. 10 more minutes. Hubs will be moaning. He'll be like, no, not 10 more minutes. Let me just rinse this real quick so I can get this in the dishwasher.
Oh, those are all clean.
Where? I'm not.
In there.
But I'm just doing it on the side. Okay. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So it was funny, Archie, I thought of you. So there was another content creator, and I don't recall his name. He's a big guy. Like, he's got like 1 million followers. And he was making something, and he was using Worcestershire sauce. And you would have loved it. I thought of you instantly, because he was like, how do you say it? Worcestershire, or something. It was Worcestershire. Anyway, it was hysterical. And I was like, here's this guy that has like 1 million followers, and he's still struggling. So the struggle is real here in America. I know it's not for you, Archie, but I just got the biggest kick out of that and immediately thought of you. So friends, what are you guys having today? So I know this is going to be our early dinner. I did it at the time we did it because I was afraid of like how long this was going to take. Chicken biryani. Yeah. So we will. This is early for us to eat. On Sundays we often eat like around 5:30, and whereas during the week it could be 6:30, 6:15. You know, and like on Friday night it was 7 o'clock out with the kids. But on Sundays we do like to eat a little bit earlier. But 4:30, like it's 4:30 right now. That is not typically when we eat. So it is early. But I didn't know how long this was all going to take, and I just wanted to be mindful of everyone's time. So, but what's everyone having for dinner tonight? I'm giving lessons in pronunciation. I know. Archie, I'm telling you, you should make a video. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Make a video and saying, here and now, this is how you pronounce Worcestershire. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling it would be delightful because, you know, being a reading teacher, there are videos that they use on how to pronounce certain words. So I think that would be adorable, especially coming from Chef Archie Pie. I think that'd be awesome. But Yes, so what did you have for dinner tonight? Did you already say? And if Marcy's still on, Marcy, what are you having for dinner tonight? Michael, how about you? And if Barbara and Diana are still on, what are you guys having for dinner tonight? And Archie said, would he just keep the racket down over there?
Sorry.
So Archie said, we've just had a traditional Sunday roast. Oh, you're just showing off now, Arch. Slow roast pork with apple stuffing. Seriously, that sounds amazing. Roast potatoes, whole onions, carrots, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and crackling. Delicious. Delicious. No popovers, no, oh wait, what do they call them in England? What do you call them in England? Popovers. What are the, oh, Archie, help me. The popovers, they're called, not Yorkies.
Yorkshire pudding?
Yorkshire pudding. You call them Yorkies. That's adorable. Yorkshire. Look at you pulling that out of your tush. Yes, Yorkshire pudding. Good job, Hubs. Hubs for the win. Yorkies. Yorkie is adorable. I did, because when we think of Yorkies here, we think of those little dogs, you know, the Yorkshire Terriers.
I'm quite
Learned.
learned.
But yes, so I still have not made Yorkshire pudding yet, Arch, and I know that's probably been on your bug list with me. So one of these days I might need to do it. And I might need to do that with you on to guide me through like you did with your pies. That might have to happen. But yeah, I had to put it back on because now it's steaming. So friends, now let's just go take a peek. Let's go take a peek. Now all the heat is off. All the heat is off. It's just sitting there getting good, right? This is probably overkill. Ooh, that got a little warm. But yes, it is sitting there getting good. Ooh, Marcy, that sounds delightful. Hubs, people can't hear you. Wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you need to put this on because if you're going to chit chat, people need to be able to hear.
I'm watching basketball.
What I have to put up with. So Marcy, that sounds wonderful. And you're adding cilantro to the hamburger, taco seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, cayenne pepper, chopped onions, and red peppers. Delicious. That sounds fabulous. Yes. Yes, I want you to do one, but maybe you can promise to be on to help me if I'm trying to make one. I can say, this is Chef Archie's Yorkshire pudding, Phil's first attempt. He has not had his weekend meds. Oh, yes, he has. He's drinking one of them right now. So, yes, that would be true. He just glared at me. All right, so let's see if the basil's ready now, because that is very tender and thin, so that should have had time for it to refrozen. I'm just going to give a little more crunchy. This is the very formal way of chopping my frozen herbs. I don't do this with anything but basil because basil is so tender, as we all know, especially the ones that I get, the ones that are hydroponic, that are just they're not like done in soil. I don't know if you all know the ones that they at least have at grocery stores here in the States. And then look at this. Look at all that. It's already chopped. It's frozen. It's going back in my freezer and for another recipe. And is that as good as fresh basil? Of course not, but I don't always have fresh basil because I work, I have a life, I live in the city, so I don't have a garden. Now in the summertime, I try to have, some plants by the window, but those don't always work out. They're not always happy with my windows or my watering. So it's just nice to, when I have some left over. I needed actually that basil for Saturday's dinner when we zhuzhed up, Hub's favorite word.
Hate it.
When we zhuzhed up that pizza. By the way, that is a local, it's obviously not a traditional style pizza. It's a thicker crust. It is such good bread. Like when I tell you the dough is so amazing. But a local small company does it, and they have them in a few stores around the city. And I'd gotten it the other day, I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe in the fall, just to try it. I thought it was really legit, and then I wanted to kind of like, what could I add to it? So adding that ricotta with the calabrese salami and the fresh basil and the hot honey, oh my gosh, that was amazing. It was just amazing. Highly recommend. All right, so we're going to start getting some things ready because in no time it will be time. So let me get our forks. I'm going to get a little trivet thing to put it on when I bring it over. And I think I will use this to get it. This might stain though. I'm going to use the one that was darker.
All right, Amy, I'll give you
Stains.
this.
What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me, babe?
I just did
An early birthday
a
present?
search, and I said, is this a word?
Zhuzh. It's Z-H-U.
Zhuzh, whatever.
Yes.
And it is.
I told you so.
It's a word meaning to make something more lively, interesting, or stylish, often with a small change or addition.
Of course. I'm a reading teacher. Would I be saying something's a word that's not a word, babe? Would I?
Yes.
No, I would not be doing that to you. I would not lead you astray. I mean, I'd only lead you astray if I was angry at you. And then, but for this word, I'm not leading you astray.
It's just kind of a goofy word.
I think it's a wonderful word.
It's a goofy word.
It gives me pleasure using that word. I just think like when you're cooking, you're like, I'm going to zhuzh this up a bit. That's a good thing.
You know what? It comes from Polari, a slang language used in the British theater.
Oh, did you hear that, Arch? I liked how you said slang language. You had a little trouble with that one, by the way. Oh, this is hysterical. I love this. Chili and cayenne together. That frightens you, Archie. Oh, you surprised me. Have you given the local hospital notice the hubs may be in for treatment given the spices involved? Archie says, I like slang. I do too. Very much so. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. The place smells amazing. I was saying to Hubs when we were going for our morning walk, I haven't posted our pictures yet. We went to a place that's west of us, very famous in Philly, called the Reading Terminal Market. Has all of these food vendors there that sell a ton of different things. But one of the things that I was in the mood for that I hadn't had in a while were these black and white cookies from 4th Street Cookie. Is it just 4th Street Cookie Bakery? Okay. Anyway, so we walked there just for that, and I took pictures, of course. I haven't shared them yet, but that cookie brings me such joy. So I was maybe going to have it later today, and then as soon as we left Reading Terminal, I said, nope, I'm going to have the cookie now. So we started digging into the cookies, and it was totally calorie-worthy, absolutely delicious. That is true, Archie. The seasonings are great together. There it is. Aha! That is what we've been waiting for. We have been patient, friends. We've been patient. We've been waiting. Need to wipe that off. That's all steamy. Oh, this is very exciting. Okay, I'm going to need my mitts. Ugh. Okay. For the big reveal. I'm going to bring you all over for this big reveal, by the way. You know what? Wait. I want to move this over just a tad. Very excited about this. So one of the things that the food lab said, or your food lab said, is that you will know it's truly ready when it the rices, they kind of stand up and they pull away. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to lift this up with a mitt. See, I had this mitt on, so that was a little funny. Okay, so let me show you. Let's just see. Let me move this out of the way. I'm very excited. I feel like it's Christmas Day. Okay, let's open this. Ooh, ooh, ah. Oh, there's a little onion over there. It looks very yummy. I don't think my rice is standing up like the guy at the food lab, but he also had longer basmati rice. I have the short, stubby ones, so that could be part of the reason too. Okay, let's take a look. My little onion was going away there. Look at this. Look at this. Delicious. Oh my goodness. Look at the steam. Can you see the steam, friends? Coming up. Oh, okay. Yes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, we're going to get this served. I'm going to put you all back and get this served up. And I'm going to get our raita there. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure if I am. Oh my gosh. Hubs, do you want to come over and see before I dish it up?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it smells so good. So I will say, as good as it smelled, Now with it open, like all the aromatics are just
Yeah, it does.
pouring out. But one of the things we talk about is on Saturday and Sunday mornings here in the building we live in, some of our neighbors always cook breakfast. And so when we go out for our walks, come over here, love.
I'm going to look at it.
What do you think?
I think it looks nice.
So some of our neighbors always make like a breakfast or brunch in the morning. So we come outside our door and we're like, oh my gosh, it instantly gets you hungry. And I said, today, this afternoon, I'm going to be the one getting people hungry. All right, so this is just, so what's cool about it is like you can see how, actually, you know what I want you to do? Will you get the camera and will you show going on my plate? Because I want to describe the layers. So you come over here, love. I'm going to put you to work a little bit.
Okay.
So you're going to stand here, like right there. Try not to shake too much.
Joking.
So can you
Sorry,
come? Can you
that
come
was
up and
just a
see?
joke.
Show how it's yellow. Can you get close to see the yellow from the saffron? Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, so we're going to put that down, and then we're going to dig in because when we dig in, oh, that's the good stuff. See that? That has the gravy. So it's the layers of flavor, and then we got some chicken. Oh yes, look at that. Get a little bit more rice on top. A little, maybe onion. Yes, friends, look at that. Look at that. Absolute deliciousness. All those flavors. And this is going to feed us all week, I think. What do you think?
Archie said superb, Phil.
Thank you, Archie. All right, do you know how to put that in? You pull that thing back. Yep. Look at you. You got it in there? Excellent job. Well done. The aroma is amazing.
Yeah, it smells.
It's so complex because you have so many things working here from all the different spices, from the stuff that, wait, we're going to do this. So this is the raita. This is a little spicy, I'm just going to warn you. It looks like it's cooling, but it has a little kick.
You said it was cooling, though.
It's
That's
cooling.
That's why I said ice cream.
Cooling with the kick. So we'll put some of that on the side, but it is tasty. Okay, whoops. All right, so what I want to get is the perfect bite. I want to get some chicken. Oh. Now I will say, we're eating this very American way. On the food lab, he picked it up with his fingers, you know, and so, but I gotta just be us.
Ready?
Yeah, it's hot. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty hot.
I'm just going in.
My stomach is growling. Oh. Mmm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Holy moly. Oh, this is so good.
I was worried it was going to be like a little bit dry, but it's not.
That is
We'll taste this.
so good.
Yeah, that is really good.
And I think it's the perfect spice. It is spicy, but not too spicy. I mean, what do you think? There's spice in there.
Yeah, but it's not that bad.
For someone sensitive like my mom, it might be a little too spicy.
Oh, that's
This is spicy.
yeah, that's got some spice.
This is in disguise. It looks like it's cool. So if you want your raita to be more cooling, don't add a pepper or just add like a jalapeno or add less. This is fabulous. You know, so
Wow, that's really
my
good.
takeaways. Now, I will say I spent the better part of a week studying some different videos, reading some different recipes, trying to get to understand the technique. But I will say that
Wow.
with a few, it was much more doable than I thought. It's just steps. And I think as cooks, when things take a lot of steps, that intimidates us. It intimidates me, for goodness sake. But it is steps, and maybe it's even good to just write stuff down just so you can kind of see like what I did. I just wrote it down so I could say, okay, this is next, this is next. I also prepped, I did a lot of mise en place because I thought that would help me making sure I had my ingredients together. The big things I had to buy to make this, you can just get a standard garam masala anywhere. I did want to make sure that garam masala was very good, and so I actually chose to get the biryani garam masala. So that is a specific ingredient, but I think just regular garam masala would still be lovely. The Kashmiri chili, I think, would give you the authentic taste. One of the content creators said you could substitute paprika. I did want to make sure I got that authentic taste. So, but if you were in a pinch, maybe you could try it, because you know what? Like, we do what we have to do. I do think that the onions, they're not as perfect as in your food lab. They're beautiful. You've got to just watch his video to see how beautiful the onions are. But this worked, and it gave me the flavor, you know, to cook the chicken. And then the herbs. The other things I actually already have. I always have star anise because I use it for some of the, for like wassail and some of the winter, what's the winter, the thing, sangria that I make. So, so I had that already. Again, I didn't have cardamom, and the cinnamon was just fine, but if you can get the whole cardamom, there's that too. So I think, and I didn't even have the, what was
Chicken
it?
is so tender.
Oh, the chicken is so tender. And I didn't even have those seeds that, the cumin
Caraway?
seeds, the caraway seeds. So with all that, this still was delicious. So I highly recommend trying it. What I will do is, since this is a mismatch of a bunch, it's not there now, but I will take the time to write down, like this piece of paper that I have here. I will let you know what I did, in case you want to do, in case you want to do my version. I will write it down, which is a kind of a mixture. It leans a little heavy on your food lab, but does a little bit of the my ministryofcurry.com. So yeah, friends, I'm telling you, first off, you've never had it, get it out, because all the Indian restaurants have it. I mean, what a special dish. As Archie said, at weddings sometimes, this is the dish. And so you could bring this to the table and have maybe some vegetables, maybe a curry or something, and it would just be a great sharing meal. So yeah, so friends, it was so good to have all you on. Michael, thank you for coming on. Diana, Marcy, Barbara, Archie, anybody else that is watching from afar, thank you so much for joining me and joining Hubs on this Sunday for our dinner. And next Sunday, I'm going to be making there's this 3-ingredient bread, and I have played with it before, but I'm going to do some other different things with it. I wanted to share because there's other applications you can use. So yeah, so if you're curious, come back on Sunday next week. And until we meet again, have a great week, friends.